Today's pairing is both international films and stories that revolve around ritual. Other than that, they're pretty different from one another, save for the fact that both are damn fine pieces of horror cinema and worthy of appearing this high on the Best in Horror Countdown 2023 through 2024. With two films, Oddity and Caveat, Damian McCarthy has become a filmmaker I pay very close attention to, and you should too. At number 6 is Oddity. It was released on June 19th, 2024, and is streaming on Shudder from IFC Films. It's directed and written by Damian McCarthy. When her twin sister Dani is murdered by an escaped mental patient, Darcy, played by You Are Not My Mother and The Lodger's Carolyn Bracken, visits the home where she was murdered in order to find out more about her death. Though blind, Darcy has a second sight and is able to read histories from inanimate objects. Dani's widowed husband, Ted, played by Bohemian Rhapsody's Gwilym Lee, has since found a new girlfriend, Yana, played by Caroline Menton, and both are shocked when Darcy shows up on their doorstep with a large wooden mannequin. And that's pretty much all I'll reveal about the plot of Oddity. While there often is a sophomore slump in filmmakers when they herald their second film after a powerful debut, Oddity shows a growth and consistency of quality from writer-director Damian McCarthy's first and excellent film, Caveat. The appearance of that creepy-ass bunny seems to indicate that the worlds of both Oddity and Caveat are the same. The films also mirror an exceptionally proficient grip of suspense and ability to truly terrify the viewer. What makes Oddity so effective is McCarthy's expert-level use of the jump scare. Now, as I said before, the jump scare is not new to movies. Having a cat jump out of the darkness or a friend turn a corner suddenly, along with a Don Music headbutt to the piano, is one of the oldest tricks in the horror game book. But what McCarthy is highly skilled at is how he creates his scares and how he makes the payoff count. Now, I believe I've mentioned this a few times before, and I'm probably going to mention it a few times again, but I recently acquired 2 kittens. One of the things that come with kittens is big kitten energy. So I found that using the laser pointer before you go to bed or needing to get something done will often tire them out. But after doing a bit of research, I've found that using the laser pointer actually activates the cat's urges to hunt, and if the laser pointer is going all over the place and then suddenly is turned off, this actually damages, or more accurately, disappoints the cat's hunter reflexes. So it's best to end the laser pointer session with a treat or something tangible like a cat toy for them to act out those hunter impulses. Now, I didn't just go off on that tangent because I like talking about my cats. In many ways, the jump scare is that laser pointer. If a film teases a scare and ends up with some kind of false jump scare, like a cat leaping through a window, that feeling one gets after the false scare is often one of frustration and even anger. This is because the film fails to deliver a true scare, and instead that false scare only preys on a body's reflex to loud noises. This is why there might be many gasps in a theater when a Blumhouse flop hits, but afterwards, you get that unsatisfied, hollow feeling. Oddity just doesn't do that. Oddity delivers rock-solid scares all the way through. Not only does it establish an absolutely dire mood and a rich atmosphere, it expertly peppers in some jump scares that are truly pants-filling. Not only does the shock come out of the blue, but the scare is genuinely horrifying once you realize what it is you're looking at. And Oddity delivers that genuine, terrifying jolt over and over and over again. I can't believe how many times it got me. And speaking of atmosphere, the bulk of Oddity takes place inside a truly wonderful setting. The home where most of the action goes on is oddly shaped and full of dark corners, strange doorways that seem like they shouldn't be there, peculiar staircases, and levels of unique and distinct floors. The set is so mysterious and shadow-laden that even during the slower discussion-heavy scenes, you're expecting something horrible to loom out of one of these dark, oddly shaped corridors. And though I don't want to spoil it, Oddity sees Caveat's creepy-ass bunny and ups the ante with one creepy-ass wooden mannequin. But that's all I'll say about that. Carolyn Bracken is wonderful in a dual role of Danny and Darcy. As Danny, she's frail and sympathetic, and as Darcy, she's cold and suspicious. It's a wonderful performance that carries the mystery of Oddity all the way through. While Gwilym Lee is not the typical-looking leading man, he does offer up a more complex role than one would expect as the grieving husband who's trying to move on in a new relationship, and then his ex-wife's creepy sister shows up to dredge up old ghosts. And Carolyn Menton serves as a wonderful eyes and ears for the audience, saying and doing things that a smart horror audience would say and do. Oddity at its core is a simple ghost story, but what sets it apart from most of them is McCarthy's deft use of jump scare and establishment of mood. Like many jokes, the success is usually in the delivery. If that's the case, then consider McCarthy a comedian extraordinaire. But Oddity is no joke, though it does pack a wicked sense of gallows humor. It's probably the most frightened I've been while watching a movie in a long time, and gave me the biggest jump I've felt since that scene, that one scene from Exorcist III Legion. Yep, the scares are that good. And now for a little shocker from South Korea, a country that has a fine eye for horror. Exuma, aka Pamyo, was released on March 15th, 2024, and is streaming on Shudder. It's directed and written by Jang Jae-hyun. Get ready for me to start massacring some South Korean names. A mortician, a geomancer, a shaman, and her protege team up to investigate the mysterious grave of a long-dead South Korean nobleman. But the deeper they dig, the more horrific secrets they uncover as they unleash an evil more powerful than any of them have encountered before. Exuma received an excessive amount of awards and accolades when released in its home country of South Korea. Anyone paying attention to South Korean cinema knows that the country regularly delivers some of the most potent international horror you're bound to see each and every year. Films like I Saw the Devil, The Medium, Gonjiam Haunted Asylum, The Wailing, A Tale of Two Sisters, Train to Busan, Bedeviled, Project Wolf Hunting, Memories of Murder, and The Host are but a few of a long list of horror films that if you haven't seen them, you definitely should if you want to call yourself a horror fan. So of course I had to check this new Exuma film out. And while I do feel the subject matter has been covered better in other films, mainly The Medium, Exuma proves to be a phenomenal movie. Exuma is steeped in South Korean spiritualism. The filmmakers made sure the numerous rituals we see played out in this expansive epic were as accurate as possible, so much that the lead actress, Kim Go-eun, who plays the mystic Hwarim, feared that she could be cursed by simply acting them out on camera. If you take anything away from Exuma, you'll experience the significant role religion and spiritualism act in the life of South Koreans and the many intricate rituals performed, especially involving the handling of the dead. The film centers around the excavation, removal, and transport of coffins from one area to another for various reasons. And while the rituals accompanying this process may seem strange to foreigners, Exuma shows it all with an unblinking eye and a ton of respect, making this a fascinating glimpse into South Korean culture. On top of that, Exuma is filled with an interesting team of mystics involved in the process, all of them top-tier actors depicting different integral roles in the exhumation process. The team is brought together not unlike the Ghostbusters, where each of the members of the team bring a unique personality as well as a special skill set to the table. The way these four interact and are connected to one another is the heart and soul of Exuma. The bond between the two shaman, Hwarim and Bong-gi, played by Lee Do-hyun, is painfully stretched as the mystery of the grave deepens. The soulful understanding of the properties of the grave is measured by the ever-charismatic Choi Min-sik, who has offered up iconic performances before in Oldboy and I Saw the Devil. And for comic relief, we have the often goofy but still integral mortician Ko Yoon-gun, played by Yoo Hae-jin, bringing his scientific know-how to the problem. Seeing all of these actors work together, going through periods where they distrust each other and bump into one another until they eventually come together, makes for a classic team-building action-adventure tale. There are horrors galore to view in Exuma as well. Not only are the rituals quite terrifying in their own right, involving animal sacrifice, which they don't show on camera, thankfully, song, dance, percussion, chanting, and all sorts of ritualistic behavior. Not only does it feel like you're being enriched by watching this spectacle, but it also is filmed to be quite shocking. But there's also references to both South Korean and Japanese folklore involving foxes, giant man monsters, snakes with human faces, and all sorts of evil spirits. Each special effects sequence manages to top the last as the mystery deepens, all of them dazzling and suspenseful to see play out. If there's an issue I had with Exuma, it isn't the fault of the movie, I don't think. I feel I don't know enough about the tenuous relationship between South Korea and Japan. The film definitely shows that there is some resentment between the two cultures that go back a long way, but my own lack of knowledge of the subject matter made me feel as if I was missing something. Exuma is also steeped in lore and tradition, so much that I feel it loses its way in the midway point of this 2-hour epic. So many rituals are shown in this one that I felt as if I were being overloaded with them. Finally, the mystery of just what is the secret buried in this excavated grave feels addressed by the end, but the spectacle of the ritual and dazzle of the special effects drowned the actual answers out for me. All of these issues I had with Exuma, though, involves the fact that I don't know as much as I should about South Korean culture. While I feel that some of the hefty themes flew over my head due to the language and cultural barriers, I still feel Exuma is yet another strong horror film from South Korea. I think because religion and ritual is something that has been sort of lost in American culture, the ritualistic sequences might be received as less powerful as they most likely were when witnessed by South Korean audiences. But nevertheless, I can recognize good character, solid special effects, and a powerful representation of a culture when I see it. Once again and always, feel free to agree, disagree, or how about you play along at home and give me your own picks for your favorite horror movies. It's October, so let's talk horror. Come back tomorrow for the next level in the Best in Horror Countdown. Be sure to hit all of those pertinent bells and whistles down below, and you'll never miss a post. Happy Halloween, folks. Please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel, and ring that bell for notifications. You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. Live the life that you are meant to be. Live